The chain of custody is a chronological documentation or paper trail showing the seizure, custody, control, transfer, analysis, and disposition of something physical, which in this case are lead samples collected at a school facility. This document will travel wherever the samples go. Whoever receives or accepts the samples will have to sign this document. A separate chain of custody will be completed for each sample event at each school facility. Document the school's information on the chain of custody. Include the school's name, address, and contact name and number. Also document the laboratory's information on the chain of custody. Include the laboratory's name, address, and project manager. Document the name of the sample collector from your sampling team. Also, make sure the sample collector signs and dates the time that they were in contact with the samples before transferring them. For each sample collected, record the unique sample location ID on the chain of custody. This is sometimes referred to as the field identification number. Include the date and time it was sampled, if it is an initial first draw sample or a follow-up flush sample, if there is a filter on the outlet, and any observations during the sample collection. Additionally, make sure that the sample bottle size is indicated. Also indicate the matrix, which in this case is drinking water, and the parameter to be analyzed, which is lead. It is important to document how the samples are preserved. Include if they are preserved in the field or the lab, the date and time of preservation, and with what preservative. You should contact the laboratory for information on preservation. If the samples are preserved in a laboratory, then the laboratory will complete this information. Indicate on the chain of custody whether you want the laboratory to analyze both the initial first draw and follow-up flush samples in order to provide results in one laboratory report, or whether you would want the laboratory to analyze just the initial first draw samples in order to decide which follow-up flush samples will need to be analyzed based on the initial first draw results. The person receiving the samples, usually at the laboratory, will sign the form and date it with the time the samples were received. They will often add their own laboratory ID number for the field numbers and include the analytical method by which the samples will be analyzed. This chain of custody will be included in the laboratory report that will be sent to the school district. Occasionally, compare the chain of custody to the sample containers in your cooler to verify that everything is accounted for. Also make sure the sample location ID codes on the labels of the bottles match the sample location ID codes on the chain of custody.